All of this work is worthy and good, but ineffective without a means to bring it to the people who need it. This challenge is the reason for HaGefen's third major emphasis, the development of a strong web presence for publishing web content and making their printed materials available online.
We hope to very soon put these books on our website so that people can read them or download them to their own computers, or eventually to republish them. One book that we're working on now is Still Hour by Austin Phelps. We've also already prepared Knowing God's Will by Sinclair Ferguson, or Man Alive by Michael Green, which brings arguments to prove the resurrection of Christ. We're just hoping that very soon we'll be able to get these in the hands of local believers.
We are making available to the people to download various articles and even books that we have produced in the past, so people can read either excerpts from it, from the book, or to download the whole book and read it.
In addition to the extensive collection of articles, books, and other media available at no cost on their website, HaGefen offers online purchasing options. The site also includes areas for both Christians and those curious about Christianity. HaGefen's excellent children's material is also available for download in MP3 format. In a culture that relies more and more on technology, HaGefen is excited to take advantage of the freedom provided by the Internet by making the gospel available in many digital formats and targeting a wide spectrum of people, from the skeptical unbeliever to the earnest Christian. HaGefen's other ministries are numerous. They show themselves to be dedicated to Christ's body by financially supporting local congregations and helping struggling churches with operating costs. They further prove themselves good neighbors by sponsoring programs for disabled children in partnership with local schools, addressing not only spiritual needs, but also providing much-needed physical assistance.
HaGefen Publishing is not just a publishing house, but an organization that supports necessary projects in the body of Christ in the land.
The difficulty of communicating religious and spiritual ideas in Israel is made more obvious when one sees the giant wall erected to separate the Palestinian area from the Jewish state. It is abundantly clear how desperately relevant the gospel is when even at the Western Wall, where thousands of religious Jews come daily to approach God in prayer, a barrier exists designating separate sections for men and women. HaGefen brings the truth that Christ has come to break down the walls between individuals and between man and God. That HaGefen's ministry is carried out in such difficult circumstances is a source of inspiration to many and a vivid example of how God is faithful to keep His promises. Though the work is challenging, Christ's church is being built and strengthened day by day. As God has promised, the Hebrew people will be grafted back into their olive tree. The work here is not in vain.
Paul is arguing there, look, the Jewish people by and large have rejected the gospel, and you benefited from that. Look at how blessing has come to the world. The gospel has gone into all the nations. But he says, if that's the case, when they've rejected the gospel, what is it going to be like when they receive the gospel? Well, it'll be life from the dead. Every revival that we have ever seen will just appear like a shot in the arm for an ailing church compared to the spiritual benefits the world is going to receive when the Jewish people receive the gospel. The key to the success of world evangelism is the success of Jewish evangelism. That it's in all of our interests to pray for and to support Jewish mission and to tell Jewish people about Jesus.
Having been born in Israel to both parents who are Jewish and growing up in Iran with my uncle and aunt, the first time I heard the gospel, one of the first things that I said to myself is that if this is true, how is it that I've never have heard this story? Nobody in my family or relatives or friends in Israel or in Iran have ever heard of it. I want to do everything that we can in HaGefen, in supporting the churches in Israel, to bring the gospel to the Jewish people, so that the day would come where every Jewish person can say that they have heard or read the story of Jesus being the Messiah of the Jewish people.